These are my note cards for my informative speech, which I will now begin. Hello, welcome everyone, and thank you for participating in my informative speech today. It will be covering winter preparedness. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Amy Stone. I live in Missouri, and I have lived here most of my life. Anybody that's been to Missouri or visited that lives here knows that we have some pretty bad winters. So, recognizing that we'll probably all drive a car this winter, I want to touch on some things that we might be able to do to help us be more safe. It is recommended by TakeWinterByStorm.org to check electrical, braking, and heating systems in our cars before the cold hits. We can do this by calling our automotive service stations and making appointments, unless some of us might be mechanically savvy, which I'm not. I would have to access my yellow pages. Another thing that we can do is keep our gas tanks at least half full. We don't want our gas lines to freeze. Also, if we run out of gas, or if we break down, we want to have plenty of gas so that we stay warm. We should test our car batteries, our lights, and our wiper blades. One tip that I can share myself is that if you're going to use wiper fluid in your car, you should use the non-freezable kind, because the standard kind will freeze and it won't be effective if you need it. Another thing is de-icer. You can buy de-icer in the can spray. It's a good thing to have that if you get locked out of your car, which I have. The doors freeze up, you can't get in. So it's also a good idea to keep a can outside of your car too. That's another thing. Okay, and at AAA, they recommend that you make sure that your tires are inflated, including your spare, that you carry chains in case you need those. And while we are taking care of our cars, we may also want to prepare a winter kit to put in it. According to FEMA and their website, you should prepare an emergency kit, which might include scrapers, ice scrapers, flashlights, batteries, jumper cables, and flares. Another good thing to have is a map so that you know where you're at if you have to tell someone your location. Most of us already have cell phones, but it's a good idea to put a cell charger in your car. That way you'll have that in case your battery runs low. This sounds really silly, but it works. You should carry a shovel and kitty litter, or maybe gravel or sand. If your tires get impacted in the snow, you can dig around them and put down your kitty litter so that you can get out. Last but certainly not least, you want to have blankets, coats, gloves, anything that will help you stay warm. Now, with our cars prepared, we should also be prepared. One way we can do that is to listen to the local weather forecast before we leave our house. We can dress in layers. You want to wear as much as you want to stay warm when you leave. You can always strip off layers, shed clothes later if you have to, but it's better to have enough and be prepared. Slip-resistant shoes is always a good idea. You don't want to have on really slick shoes, dress shoes, or anything like that when you're going out in the weather. Also, you might tell someone that you'll be traveling. If you leave your house and you don't arrive at your destination by a certain time, then you'll have someone that will know to look for you if something might have happened. You can also have important numbers with you ahead of time, such as your tow company or things like that. In case you do get in an emergency situation, you'll already have the number to call. Another thing that we should do to be prepared is realize that there's other dangers that are out there that should be considered. If you're going out on icy roads, you need to know that that can be dangerous, and you're better off to err on the side of caution. Be aware, drive slowly, allow enough braking distance from the car in front of you, and let people go around you. If they don't like how fast you're driving, and there's a whole line of people behind you, just they'll just have to deal with it. I know that people have passed me and I've seen them up the road a couple miles and then there they are in the ditch. So it's better to be slower than faster. Also, if you find yourself getting into a skid with your back tires, you want to turn your wheel the same direction as you're skidding. So if you skid with your back tires to the right, you want to wheel right, left, wheel left. If you skid with your front tires, you want to drop it into neutral, and you want to just slowly decelerate. Then as you slow down, you can steer the direction that you want to go, and when you gain control, you put it back into gear and then take off again. Another thing is hypothermia. You don't want to be caught out because according to WebMD, if you get your clothes wet, you're out there in the snow scooping that ice out from underneath your tires, you get your clothes wet and you're out there exposed to the elements, more likely than not you have a higher chance of getting hypothermia. Frostbite is also a danger to be considered. You don't want to get that because you can lose limbs, you can even die. In the end, what I want you guys to know is that you can be out on the roads this winter and be safe if you just take the right precautions, listen to some of the tips that have been provided, and everyone can have a nice, safe winter. Thank you all.